Alright, what's up guys? I got the McLaren today. Just gonna go ahead and take all the wing out of the rear right off the bat just because I'm gonna be doing that anyway, so might as well just skip that step. Oh, I almost forgot. Because I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the Ford, but first I gotta record the telemetry so that I can look at the data with the Motec. Pretty happy to be driving the McLaren again because I got that new Fanatec base with the F1 wheel, so this car's a lot more fun to drive now, just with this new base wheel combo. Feels more like a big go-kart now with this wheel in my hands. The wheel's a lot lighter in the 918 wheel too, so it's a little bit more responsive. It's got a little bit more life in it. So again, these first couple laps, it's all about just getting up to speed, figuring out your braking points, what gear you should be in for what corner. Like, don't go that fast in that corner. I don't know how I saved that. That was ridiculous. I had so much slip angle. Again, this wheel is just so much easier to save slides. If that didn't proof right there, then I don't know what is. I thought I was in the tires for sure. It's always a good idea to slowly work up your speed, you know, push your, be more conservative with your initial braking points. Then, if you're obviously slowing down way too much before apex, then move it up a couple feet the next lap. Like right there, I broke at the beginning of the cones, and the next one I'll break a couple feet after the beginning of the cones. Here I'll break in the middle of the cones. That almost seems spot on. Wow, rear end feels so much more stable in the Ford through there. I have a feeling the rest of the GT3 cars are just they're gonna handle really good on this track. Should be some fun racing, I think. I think this would be a good week of racing. So a little similar braking spot there compared to the Ford, kind of in between that caution pole and the #1 brake marker. I don't think I'll be doing much to the handling characteristics of this car. So here I'm gonna brake. Kind of hard to explain. There's a white line on the left that came out and kind of stopped, and broke probably about 7 feet before that stopped. Up here, braking right around the 100 marker. Can probably go a little bit further. So up here we'll brake just a little bit past the cones now. See if that gets us a little bit better speed going into the apex. Still can brake a little bit later, so now I'm going to brake more towards the middle of the cones next lap. Up here I'm going to brake in the middle again because that worked pretty well. Just a little bit harder this time. Yeah, it's perfect right now. I was seeing how aggressive I could get right there. Got a little too aggressive. But it's good to do that because then you test the boundaries and you see what the car is capable of, what it's not capable of. So up here I'm going to try a little bit slower entry, so I'm going to brake at the caution light. Probably go a couple feet past that next time, because I just want to see how good an exit I can get out of that corner. Need a good spot to pass going into turn 1 here. Actually starting to brake a little after the green cone now. So up here I'll brake right at the 100 marker. There we go. That's the ticket. Up here I'll brake in the middle of the cones. Still brake a little bit deeper. So it looks like I'll be braking at the last quarter of those cones. Again, I'll brake same spot here, right in the middle. Just be a little more gradual with the gas, that's better. It kind of does the same thing the Ford was doing. It just, I think it's the nature of that corner. But it has a, there's just a push in there. And then it gets to the point where you're putting too much wheel into it, so it goes from push to snap oversteer. That whole vehicle dynamic syndrome. So I have to work on a better line through there. Because everywhere else the car's, I mean the setup feels great. But that always has been the problem corner. Just setting up a rear end to get really good traction coming out of that corner. 50.57. So braking like in between the green cone, like middle point in between the green cone and that white line that jets out. Broke a little after the 100 marker that time. But I can just smash the gas right there and the rear end stays behind me, so I think I'll just keep working on my line for the exit onto the oval. A little loose there. Just pushing the limits right now. Definitely do something to get more traction on exit. Don't know quite what yet. A little bit of push through the middle of there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. A little bit of push through the middle of that the bus stop and change in direction. See if I can put a couple solid laps in here. 57.92. we go. Drive a little bit smoother and it hooks up nicely. Ease on the gas. There we go. Trying to be too tricky. I was trying to use the weight of the car to get rotation through the middle instead of just driving the car the way it wants to be driven. Well, look at Motec real quick. See what my ride heights are at. Again, I'll have a link for this in the description down below. And I know you guys just see a black screen, but that's because I guess I'm sure my capture software could capture this, but I just don't know how. Fortunately, you guys get a black screen. Isn't very useful. All right. Right now, the difference between the front and the rear, the fronts are about 5 thousandths over the rears. So go down quite a bit with the front of the car. So we're at 64 here. I don't think we can go any more down like that. So we're actually gonna have to raise the rear. Which doesn't really excite me. That usually causes more overs. Which isn't the worst thing in the world for the McLaren, because it is an rear steer bias car, so we'll do it and see what happens. Three clicks should hopefully level us out. I took that measurement off the 5th lap I did. And again, so if you guys didn't see the Ford video, what the Motec stuff is, it's basically just like this software that reads telemetry, puts it in graph form, or whatever form you want. And whatever telemetry iRacing outputs, it'll represent one way or another. So I was just looking at ride heights, and it's pretty simple, just a couple squiggly lines on the graph, and it has the 4 different corners of the car, and it'll show you all on one graph like the 4 different line plots of your ride height. So it's pretty cool. You can see over the course of the lap, like when you're on the banking, the rights are lower than the left. When you're going through S's, you can see the ride height switch from side to side. And then when you're on this is the part I look at when I'm looking at the ride height of the car, because it's the flattest. It's not the fastest spot, but it's pretty dang close. And it's not flat going through the tri-oval, so you get a better representation of how your car's going across the track. But I did just think of something. If more of the tracks like this, and maybe it's more important to have your car be able to be parallel to the ground in the corner, but then at the same time it's not, because then your setup becomes asymmetric, and you don't want an asymmetric setup for road racing. At least I don't like them. And asymmetric just means it's more, you know, like oval setups are all asymmetric because cars don't. That's why they're just turn a stock car right and it's just like a bucket of bolts and rubber band, but you turn it left and it kind of makes sense. Road cars, you need them to be nice and symmetric so they can turn left and right and they have the same kind of... Okay, so that's that increase in ride height. I think that increase in ride height just made me a little loose through there, so... Because I've never had the tail wiggle on me through there before. Oh, I also wasn't exactly giving it my full concentration. It's not a corner I expect to get loose in, especially on the second lap, or the first flying lap. Car had pretty good straightaway speed. For the first lap, the tires don't seem to have, they don't seem to roll as freely. Or for whatever reason, the car doesn't go as fast. I actually think I wasn't paying attention earlier and just caught a bump weird and got loose. That was my fault, not the setup. I think that key to that corner is just a more conservative entry. Error on the side of caution. You just get in there too hot and then you're all out of shape, you're not on your line, it's hard to, you're paying for it the rest of the corner, you're just trying to recover until you get on the banking. Ugh.
Don't worry about it, buddy. Focus forward.
It's weird, the rear end will get loose on me going into the bus stop if I do my shifting a certain way. I've just noticed that I haven't really paid attention exactly what I'm doing wrong yet, but
47.9.
I think if I downshift too soon, I don't know, I'll start paying attention to that now. Starting to finally feel like normal again. Still a little groggy, but after last week of being sick, it's feeling anything close to normal is pretty awesome. But my mind's still a little fuzzy. Oh, wait, too fast, don't hit the wall. Arrgh. Aim. Might as well just look at those ride heights real quick. Alright, and on the second lap, they're dead even. So we'll go. I'm gonna go one more click on the rear and then just leave it at that. Because I think fuel tank in the car. Actually, I think the fuel tank's in the middle of this car. Not mistaken. Let's see. See if we can find ourselves a fuel tank. What are those things called? Put fuel in a car? Alright, I think that's it right there. Fuel inlet. I think the fuel tank's right behind the driver's seat. I think it's right here. I don't know, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's in the front. I mean, there's the fuel thing, so it wouldn't make sense to have them go all the way to the front. So, that being said, I don't really have to worry about the, we'll bring this back down one. I don't really have to worry about, oh wait, shoot, I moved it over my barber setup. Oh well, it's a good thing about posting stuff on the forums, you can go back, it's like a second database, you can go back and retrieve it. Alright. So yeah, unlike the Ford where the fuel weight's in the front of the car, when the fuel burns off, the front end will raise up. Well, fuel being in here, it'll have more of an even effect lifting. Trying to think if there's anything else to do the car right now. Run some laps. Just gonna run some laps. I'm probably gonna talk a little bit less just so I can focus. Some solid laps in here. I think I can get this to run low 45s, maybe a 44. Yeah, like I guess I didn't really explain why I like the car to be flat, but the air just travels with less resistance when you're the bottom of the car is parallel with the bottom of the track. You know, if the front end's too high, then the rear end kind of acts like a parachute, and if the front end's too low, then the air can't really travel under the car, and it can cause more downforce, which causes more drag, or it just causes more drag. You really don't want more downforce when you're going that fast on the oval section of the track, so you get that body parallel with the surface of the road, and then you got the best slipstreaming you can do. And that's where the Motec just really comes in handy. I don't really use it for anything else other than my ride heights. I do want to start using it for my shocks, but kind of like doing those by feel, where the ride height you can't really do by feel. If you didn't have Motec, you'd just be kind of guessing the whole time. You'd never really know if it was actually parallel to the road or not. You'd be able to tell if it's faster relative to a previous setup change, but you'd never be able to tell if it was optimal. I guess I could also check and see if this car has different gears.
46.23.
Yeah, I could have broke a little bit harder there at the end. And get it slowed down enough. Got on the gas too soon, didn't let the car rotate. Broke too early. I got a real good exit that time. My best was like a 45.7 with the Ford. That's where I need to start putting laps together. Haven't really been putting together any good laps.
45.81.
Gonna be a lot of repetition in my videos this week, but this is what it is. That's my whole philosophy or idea behind making my videos. It's just I'm not gonna do anything different than I normally do. I'm just doing what I normally do and just explaining it to you guys. So sorry if sometimes it gets a little repetitive and boring, but it's just easier for me to keep making those videos if I just do them in a much more natural way, because it's not quite so, doesn't take so much effort, which over the long run will wear you out. This way I'm just kind of letting my thoughts flow, and it doesn't really seem like I'm doing anything out of the normal other than talking to myself. got really good traction coming out of that corner. You just got to make sure you let the car rotate through the center of the corner. Same with here, just let it rotate and then just you can be pretty aggressive with the throttle once the car gets pointed in the right direction. Here, I'm gonna do the same thing, let it rotate, get on it. I think that's what I fight with that corner is I want to, it's harder for me to be patient to let it rotate because I know how important it is that the sooner you get on the throttle the better, so you're kind of fighting, you're seesawing between two different, you know, letting it rotate and at the same time wanting to get on the gas as quick as possible. Oops. Too much speed.
Get back to the rhythm. Do your thing.
I would like to be able to be more aggressive through the bus stop. I want to do a little bit longer run here, just see if how the car's handling changes. Usually I do these, I don't film these because they're a little bit more boring, but it's only half an hour, it's half an hour into the video, so I figure I might as well. And I still might make a setup change, I'm not sure yet. I just haven't been running good enough laps to really make that call. And I can also see if I can change the gears. I just can't remember if I can change gear ratios in this car or not. Bus stop's the one part of the track where you definitely have to be paying attention with this car. That, the bus stop, and then the last corner before you get on the oval. Before the bus stop. Those two are the ones you really gotta be on your toes. Because it'll go bad split second if you're not paying attention. Car still feels nice and stable through there after a couple laps. There you go, that was pretty good through there. And of course, as you know, you burn off more fuel, the car gets lighter, so you will get a little bit better acceleration, which will give you a little bit better times through these sectors. Yeah, I went in there too fast, and I was basically sliding from the second half of the bus stop through the second half of the bus stop. Best lap so far. Got a little bit of grass with the inside tires. So I think really hugging that inside is the best way to go through there. Try and hug it at that inside of the track as long as you can. Alright. Let's see if I can adjust the gear ratios. Nope. That's all we got. Oh. Notice this was different. I wonder how many setups that's been different. Just gonna go look at another setup real quick. That's been different for a while. What was before Barber? Yeah. Wow. Okay, so it's been that way for about 3 or 4 setups. Whoopsie. Alright. Well, actually I'm gonna... The reason I went up to 10 instead of down to 7 with this one is because I want to slow down the rear end. And high speed rebound's more about going over bumps and how it affects the rate of the spring releasing from compression. So turn that on. It slows down the rate at which the spring releases from compression at a very fast rate instead of the low speed rebound dampening, which is more like the car leaning into the corner and stuff like that. That rate at which the spring releases from compression, where this is when the spring just hits a curb and spring compresses and then it comes back from that back on the downstroke rate, happens in a split second. That's what high speed rebounding affects. And since the rear end's kind of a little goofy on me, a little loose on me going in the bus stop, I'm gonna increase this low speed rebound dampening, because this is, if you're going into a corner, left-hand corner, the car is going to want to roll to the right, right? So this slowing down the rate at which the spring releases from compression, when the car wants to roll to the right as it's going through the left-hander, as this is going up, it's going to slow down the rate at which this is going at the rate at which this spring is going to release. So it's going to slow down the rate at which the weight transfers to the right, which is going to cause, it'll be more stable. It won't be as lively, where I guess that's the best way to explain it. And hopefully it'll just be a little bit more secure, because that weight's just not transferring as quick. The theory is that the weight is transferring too quick and it's unsettling the chassis of the car. So you slow down that weight transfer, and it's something that the chassis can handle and won't unsettle the chassis. I guess you could say the chassis understands it or can keep up with it. Ooh, man, it feels so good with brand new tires through there. feels awesome through there with brand new tires. I'm just hoping the rear end just isn't as squirrely. Going through the bus stop here. Car's first lap. Not gonna be able to tell anything because the tires are brand new. I think I can get into the 44s. Have to put together a really good lap. Right now I'm just interested to see what the rear end does through here. Oh yeah, that feels pretty doggone good. Definitely give it a couple more laps, but felt really good. Ah, I messed up my shifting point. .1. A little too fast, but it's still a lot more stable. Like that would have been a lot more squirrely if before I changed those rear dampeners. You can see the difference when I actually hit my shift at the right time. Gain about a tenth. 44.98. Car's starting to burn off a little bit of fuel. It's picking up more momentum now. Still gotta work on a better way to go through the bus stop. But the rear end's much better now. Looks like we're going to run that 40 full. Coming a yeehaw. Boom.
44.
Top guys are probably running like 42s. Nah, seriously, they're probably running 43s. Some guys are definitely probably running 42s. Alright, so I think I'm going to call it the McLaren. Pretty happy with this setup for a good baseline. They're actually going this way. Let's see what this is all about. Wah, wah. And where you go? And you go over here? That don't make no sense. How does that work? I really don't get what that's. Oh well. Alright, I guess. Till next time. If you guys can tell me what that part of the track's for, appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.